Okay, so this aesthetic has been all over my Pinterest board lately, and here on YouTube, a few of you have requested that I share a crochet roundup inspired by this aesthetic, and it is Goblincore. Goblincore is all about finding beauty and inspiration in the wild, weird, and imperfect parts of nature. It's similar to fairycore or cottagecore, but more about celebrating the damp, mossy trinkets that are tucked away in the dirt, like shiny rocks, acorns, mushrooms, and rusty trinkets. We can embrace it by mixing textures, scraps, and different yarn fibers to make our crochet work look raw and earthy. And the color palette is deep mossy greens, muddy browns, rusty oranges, muted neutrals, and rich maroons. And you can play with bobble stitches to mimic pebbles, fuzzy yarns that remind you of moss, heavy chunky wools, and lean more towards natural and organic shapes in general, such as crooked lines and uneven raw edges. And so in this video, I've gathered a collection of Goblincore-inspired crochet patterns that I really think capture this vibe, and I've separated them into 5 different categories: amigurumi, accessories, home decor, granny squares, and clothing. And as always, you can find all the exact links to all the patterns I mentioned over on my blog, which is linked in the description box below. All right, so grab your cup of tea and your current whip, and let's get into it. First up is the Pass the Goblin by White Bramble Studio, and this little guy is such a fun way to bring the Goblincore vibe to your crochet. It's worked in worsted weight yarn, making him nice and sturdy with just the right amount of squish. And it's more intermediate level to make, and I love the little capelet, but of course you can get really creative with adding other little clothes that you like. And this one is a free pattern in their Ribbler. Or make this cute goblin by Libby Crochets. I loved that this one was a cute plushie with that Himalaya koala yarn, and it's intermediate level to make and free on their Ribbler as well. And if you work it up with bulky weight yarn, it would work up quite quickly as well, which is really nice. Another great pattern is this Pinch the Goblin by MJ Carlos, and it's a paid pattern on their website. There are a lot of step-by-step photos for this one, and I loved all the little details, like the little bag. You could also put some little coins or shiny stones in it, because goblins love shiny treasures, of course. I also liked this Goblin Amigurumi by Louise Loops. It measures only 1.5 inches tall when finished and includes a video tutorial to help with making it. And this one is intermediate level to make and a paid pattern on their website. And the special stitches are the increase, decrease, spiky bobble stitch, and the bobble stitch. And I loved that this one was part of a collection of other characters, including trolls, orcs, ogres, and hobo goblins, so it would be fun to create all of these characters and make a whole little collection of them. Or make this Mini Goblin by Carolyn Brody, and this one measures 7 inches tall from foot to head. It's an intermediate level pattern to make, and it's a paid pattern on Ravelry, and I love the little clothes and hats that this one had for sure. All right, now I'll share some accessories patterns. First is the Goblincore Autumn Bundle by Fool KU, and this is a paid pattern collection on their Ribbler. It includes patterns for a pumpkin pie, mushroom mittens, hat, and frog bag. And I really loved the hat and the mittens of these patterns, which are really perfect to make and style with your Goblincore look. You could also make the Goblin Dice Bag by Metzlimu Makes, and this one's beginner friendly to make and a paid pattern on Ribbler. And this one is so cute. I really loved the felt teeth and the little tongue, as well as the embroidered X eyes and mouth. And this one would work up quite quickly as well and could be made in 1 or 2 crafting sessions for sure. Another great one is this Dice Bag by Red Panda Patterns, and this is a perfect one to whip up and hold your trinkets in. It's a paid pattern on their Ribbler as well, and it's more intermediate level to make and would be perfect to wear to a Ren fair. And I really love how it's a dragon egg shaped bag and how it's made with a crocodile stitch, which really gives it some nice texture. I also thought that this Fairy Cat Forest Hat by Winter Flame Crochet is a cute make. It's beginner friendly and has plenty of pictures to help with making it, and it's very easy to adjust the size as well. It's also no sew, which is really convenient, and does have some embroidery, which is optional, and this one's a paid pattern over on the Ribbler. Or make the Mushroom Hand Warmers by Nashta's Crochets, and this one is a perfect one with the mushroom design on it and would be fun to play around with all the colors for it as well. This one is beginner friendly to make, and it has a lot of pictures to help you for this one. And this one's a paid pattern over on the Ribbler as well. Another great one to make is this Forest Goblin Hood and Cape by Jessica Brewer. And this one's part of a 3 pattern series with a capelet and fingerless gloves. And it's an intermediate level make and has 2 different sizes, adult and child. And it's a paid pattern on Ravelry. And I really loved the horns on this one, and I thought it would be really perfect to create for a Renaissance fair. I also really liked the Goblin Cleaver by Michelle Dunaire. I really loved how this light shawl is really delicate and has a nice texture to it, and it measures 56 inches wide by 9 inches deep, and it could easily be made smaller or larger. I really thought it would look cool in a red variegated yarn colorway, and it's a part of a book of 3 shawls as well, and it's a paid pattern over on their Ribbler. I also loved the Goblin Dice Bag by Elizabeth, and this one was a paid pattern on Ravelry. It's more intermediate level to make, and it really leans into the fantasy core. I really love the bold red eyes as well as the little teeth and embroidered mouth. And the final size is 12 by 5 inches. And so it would be perfect to hold a lot of dice. And I also really love this mushroom bag by Yarn Inspirations. And this one is easy to make and measures 8 by 6 inches. It's also made with Bernat blanket yarn, so I feel like it'd be quite quick and easy to whip up. And it's worked in the round in spirals and free on their website. I feel like this one would be perfect to make for autumn and for wind fairs, so perfect for this time of year. I also loved the Foraging Druid belt by Amigurumi, and the phone pouch measures 7 by 3.5 inches, and the big pouch measures 6.5 by 6 inches. There are instructions on size small to extra large as well, so you can easily adjust it. And I love the extra touches on them, like the leaves, vines, and buttons. And this one's a paid pattern over on their Etsy. Another great pattern is the Trunk Duffel Bag by Vanny Llewell Visions. And this one is also a paid pattern in their Etsy, and it's intermediate level to make. There are a lot of helpful pictures for each step of creating this. And there's also a mushroom keychain added as well to this pattern pack, so it's a really fun one to make. All right, now I'll share some home decor patterns. First is the Forest Fans Afghan by Yarn Inspirations, and this one would be perfect when paired with multicolored yarn, specifically forest-inspired motifs. And this one's beginner friendly and worked in an 8-row repeat using basic stitches, and it measures 47 by 59 inches, and it's free over on their website. You could also make this Warty Goblin Knucklehead Pumpkin by Lucinda Lane Creations, and it's intermediate level to make and is inspired by an orange-green hybrid pumpkin that is actually known as the Knuckled Pumpkin or Goblin Pumpkin. So that was pretty cool, and it has 3 different sizes, so you could easily make a set of them and make a goblin inspired Halloween display, and this one's free over on their Ribbler. Or make the Mushroom Ornaments by Yarn Inspirations, and these are easy to make and will stitch up pretty quickly and are worked in the round with a simple single crochet. They measure 4 inches by 3 inches, so nice and small, and they're free on their website, and these would be perfect to whip up and display on a woodland goblin theme Christmas or even Halloween tree. All right, now I'll share some granny square patterns. First are these mushroom granny squares by Svetlana, and these are free on their Ravelry and measure 4.5 by 4.5 inches when made with DK weight yarn. They're worked in the round, of course, and would be great to stitch up and create a variety of projects. And if you're trying to figure out what to make with granny squares, you should definitely check out my granny square roundup crochet video where I share all kinds of different projects that are perfect to make with your granny squares. I also liked this Away with the Fairies by Lettuce Rose, and this one's free on Ravelry and creates a pretty big square that's 9.75 by 12 inches when made with worsted yarn. And this one's perfect for a confident beginner or more intermediate level crocheter because it can be quite tricky at certain points. And I really loved how all of the little toadstools in this design kind of look like a flower at the same time. I thought that was really unique. Or make the Mushroom Square by Jo Kill. This one is beginner friendly and free on their Ravelry, and it measures 5.5 inches and uses basic stitches to make. And it also would work up quite quickly, so if you're looking for a quick project, this would be a great one. I love how you can add fun little spots on the mushrooms as well and just give them a little bit of character. All right, now I'll share some clothing patterns. First is the vertical lace topper by Your Inspirations, and it's free on their website. It has sizes small to 3XL. The special stitches are the 2 treble cluster, and to create it you work the back then front and finish it off with a bit of sewing along the shoulder and side seams and the side edging as well, which gives it that nice clean polished look. Another great pattern is the Moss Set by Vandal Yarns. This one's a paid pattern in their Etsy, and it's beginner friendly to make and available in English and French. This one could be whipped up in a couple of crafting sessions, and I really love the texture that it has. And I also liked how they gave it that texture by brushing out the fibers of yarn with a cat brush. Here is the Genevieve top by Lila Ear, and this one's a paid pattern on Etsy and is made to measure, and so it's pretty easy to adjust to fit you. And I loved how this one has that bishop or flare style sleeve, and it's really romantic and perfect for layering with. And this one would also be perfect in this color that's seen here, or a variegated sort of mossy colorway would also be really nice. Or make the Bark Gauntlets by Whimsy Row, and it's a 24-page pattern that is a paid pattern on their Etsy shop. And I loved how it has that corset style lacing on this design, and how their instructions on how to make mushrooms, leaves, and moss to embellish them. And this one would be perfect to use up all your DK weight yarn scraps in that earth tone color palette. Well, what did you think of all these Goblincore patterns? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, definitely leave a mushroom emoji down there, and let me know what other types of roundup videos that you might like to see soon. And make sure you subscribe and click the bell if you want to be notified of future crochet roundup videos and just inspiration, art inspiration, and crochet inspiration in general. I definitely have some really fun crochet with me videos planned really soon, especially with Halloween being around the corner, and some more kind of spooky videos if that's your thing. So make sure you're subscribed and click the bell so you can be notified of those. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me in the next one.